Hello. Welcome to Play for Keeps. I am Jennifer Vianello, co-founder of MachMachines Musical Instruments, and I am joined here today by Dave Showalter, my co-founder and husband.
Hello.
Hi, Dave. And also Matt Vianello. You used to be Custom Curious, and now you are a client. Welcome.
Hello. How are you?
Good. Thanks for doing this adventure with us today of trying to figure out how to start a podcast.
You are welcome. I couldn't think of two people I'd rather blunder through an initial podcast launch with than you two.
Likewise, the feeling is mutual.
Mm-hmm.
For the audience that we may or may not have in the future, Matt and I have known each other for a very long time, since his birth. He is my younger brother and a two-time MachMachines customer. One guitar is finished, a ukulele he also got, and then he's got another guitar in the works. And we can talk about that in a little bit. Tell us a little bit about what you play, when you started playing, how long this has been going on.
Well, I started taking piano lessons when I was young. I guess it would have been in grade school. And then at some point, my brother, your brother, our brother, went over to our neighbor's house and then came back home and started bragging about how he just learned power chords on the guitar. And I thought, well, fuck that. I don't want him to be good at something else or better than me, so I'm going to learn how to play the guitar. So I got my first guitar. We're coming up on the 28th anniversary of it. June 6th, 1998.
Oh my God, how do you remember the date?
Yeah, no kidding.
I have the receipt at home because I thought someday I'm going to be famous and this receipt's going to be worth a lot of money. And now the receipt is not worth anything.
I think it still deserves a frame and like a place of exaltation in your house.
I know where it is. So that's good. It's faded. I got a Squire Stratocaster from Guitar Center in Overland Park for $100-something. My dad paid for it, and then I had to reimburse him over time. So I think the receipt may even have the little ledger on it showing the payments that I made, but I'd have to go back and look at it.
Did you have to pay interest?
I mean, that would be something that he would do, but I don't remember if I did or not. So it was a Sunburst Squire Strat. I still have it. I've had many guitars over my life that have since sold, but that one is not worth a lot of money, if anything. And, it's my first one. And then I went to a pawn shop and got an amp.
What was the amp? Was it a crate?
I think it was a little garbage Fender 1x8.
In those days, crate amps were like what everybody had. You go into a guitar shop and there were like stacks of those little crate kind of practice amps.
Yeah, and it could have been, but also I got it from a pawn shop, so who knows what it was. So that's how I started, and I took guitar lessons all the way up through when I was 22, up until when I moved to St. Louis.
You have a lot of guitars. You've got a shitty Squire.
Yes.
You have other guitars. One of them was built by MachMachines, and it was a long time ago now. So tell us about that one and what led you to it.
Well, this guy Dave started building guitars after he went to Roberta Venn Luthier School and wanted to start a business making custom guitars. And I thought, okay, well, that's cool. I should do one. So I saw this bass guitar that was an ESP designed for NAMM, which is, I don't know what NAMM stands for.
North American Music Merchants.
Okay. I just kept thinking NAMBLA, and I know what that is.
Not
So
not
couple
the same.
extra letters there.
yeah, so I guess ESP is not designing guitars for NAMBLA, but it was NAMM. So anyway, it was a bass guitar that was multiple different styles, multiple different types of wood, cool design, neck through, and sent it to Dave and said, can you make a guitar, an electric 6-string guitar like this? And then Dave went through the process of drawing it out and choosing the wood, asking me questions about the wood. But I will also tell you, I don't know anything about wood. I know that I like aesthetically flamed maple and quilted maple. And I know that from a fretboard standpoint, I do not like rosewood fretboards. It is purely from a feel standpoint. Rosewood seems to have more grooves in it than maple.
Yeah, it's a little more porous.
I mean, I have some guitars with rosewood fretboards on it. It just always feels like it's a little scratchier when I press the string down on the fretboard. So it's a smoother feel to me.
I know people who are just maple purists. They will only play maple. That guitar in particular had a lot going on. I had to kind of decipher what was in the ESP bass. They didn't list any of that information in what I looked at, but I think we came pretty close.
So for the one listener,
Hopefully.
perhaps your wife.
My fingers are crossed for like at least 3.
We might have 3.
I would say our mother.
Maybe. So for our family members who are going to listen to this and already know the answer to this question, what do you do for a living? Are you a professional musician?
Yes. Next question.
Okay. Is that how you make your money?
No. I am a lawyer. I'm the only Vianello lawyer, which is great because then everybody calls me and asks me questions. That is my day job and probably occupies most of my thoughts. But I do play in an 8-person funk band. We play maybe 2 or 3 shows a month. We play when the St. Louis Blues are during the season, they'll hire us a couple games a year to go and play. We do random festivals. I don't play to make money, but we also have people in the band who are full-time musicians that rely on the money a little bit more.
What's the name of your band, Matt?
The name of the band is the Grooveliner.
How can people listen to you?
All of our original music is up on Spotify. We have done a funk version of Closer by 9 Inch Nails that we licensed, and that is also on there.
I listened to the whole album.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
I made our kids listen to it too, but they didn't hear Closer. They heard the first couple tracks in the car and then complained.
Well, we're limited also on where we can play Closer. Some family-friendly events. Our singer plays in another band called Hazard to Your Booty, and they have a song called Just the Tip. He says that it's about a screw, which it's not.
Okay. Yeah.
They used to play those games too, and for those of you who are hockey fans or ever go to hockey games, they usually in the intermissions, sometimes they'll have the kids go out and skate for 10 minutes against each other and 2 teams of elementary school kids. Anyway, they played it during one of the intermissions.
Oh, God.
And they have not been asked back.
Well, they could have foreseen that, I would think.
Well, one would think, and we did, which is why we don't play Closer at the Blues games. I can send you guys that song too, just so you can form your own opinion about it.
If you have another suggestion, what are you listening to these days?
The band Hot Hot Heat has come up lately, and I completely forgot about them. They're from Vancouver, of all places. I guess Vancouver has music too. Who would have known? Who would have thought that? It was crazy.
I've heard that they named themselves Hot Hot Heat after digging the band Red Red Meat. And Red Red Meat ultimately became Caliphone. So Red Red Meat and Caliphone are both Chicago bands led by the same guy whose name I'm blanking on. That's a Chicago connection. Didn't know if you knew that.
I did not.
Now you do.
Now I do. Tedeschi Trucks Band just put out another album. They're great. Susan Tedeschi has a fantastic voice. Derek Trucks is, of course, a very good guitar player.
Yeah, he is. Did you see him playing Jerry Garcia's guitar?
No, but I heard about it.
There's a company, I think they're here in Chicago. They acquire really expensive jewelry, but they also acquire super expensive guitars. They have a bunch of Jerry Garcia's guitars.
It wasn't that one like $250,000 or something that he played?
Something crazy.
So speaking of instruments, what is the guitar that you play in the Grooveliner?
I play an electric guitar in the Grooveliner. The guitar was made by MachMachines. It's the one that we are talking about. Basically, it's the only guitar that I bring out and play. And then I have a couple acoustics at home that are hanging on walls. And I have a bunch of guitars that are sitting in cases that are neglected and some really nice ones, but I won't sell them because I I do like them even though I don't play them.
Guitarists are all the same.
My wife does not understand it. I probably will sell one of my acoustics once I get my next MachMachines acoustic.
Tell us about that one.
Dave is showing the ebony fretboard that has the inlay and the rosewood headstock. What's the wood on the neck?
Mahogany.
Mahogany. I own 2 Taylor acoustic guitars. And I went through and asked Dave about what wood should be used to get a good sound. So that's what led to it. And I think maybe Dave could talk about this more, but a lot of acoustic guitars, they're heavily lacquered, which I guess impacts sound.
There are hundreds, if not thousands, of variables that influence the sound of particularly acoustic guitars. So to the conversation before about a rosewood fingerboard on an electric guitar, not many people, if anybody, can hear the difference. A spectrometer or scientific instruments will be able to detect differences between rosewood, ebony, maple. But when it comes to acoustic tone woods, what you make the box out of and how you brace it are 2 of the most significant factors in how it's going to sound. We had a conversation about what you were looking for in your sound and came up with Western red cedar top with Nicaraguan rosewood back and sides, combined with a mahogany neck with an ebony fretboard.
And that's compared to spruce tops, right? I mean, most acoustic guitars have a spruce top.
One of the big things about spruce versus cedar is going to sound fantastic out of the gate. Spruce takes a little bit more time to break in. So you have to either play it for a while or use some form of sound device to loosen the top and kind of break it in a little bit, kind of like shoes, breaking in shoes. It needs to settle in, and it takes a lot longer for spruce to settle in.
So I'll have that sometime this year, which is exciting.
Why are you getting all the inlay?
I wanted something that wasn't just dots or blocks, but I kind of deferred on design to Dave, although Dave drew it up and then sent it to me and asked for my approval first.
In full transparency, the general idea came from Jen. You had said you wanted it to be the entire length of the fretboard, but you didn't want it to be like flowers or trees. I think we talked for a second about like a dragon, and then Jen found some photos of these transom stained glass windows, and I was like, what? That looks kind of amazing. We found some examples that could possibly translate to a fretboard, and then I took my cue from that. I didn't copy it directly, but I was able to translate it into something that I thought might look really cool on the fretboard.
Well, it looks nice.
So I helped.
Congratulations.
Congratulations to you, Matt. You will be the fine owner of this fine instrument shortly.
Yes.
You are a professional musician. You are an attorney. What else do you do?
I am a very active, lazy person. I enjoy sitting on my couch as much as I possibly can. But I also do a lot of long distance running. I used to do 1 marathon a year. And then I have a commercial pilot's license with an instrument rating, which means that I can fly through clouds.
Are you still on the taxi commission?
I am. I just had a St. Louis Metropolitan Taxi Cab Commission meeting yesterday.
And you're on the board of the Missouri Theater?
The Missouri Symphony. I am on that board. And I had one of those meetings on Tuesday. So we have a concert coming up that is sponsored by the Vianello family. I also taught mandolin lessons for a while.
Did you really? I didn't know that.
I was teaching guitar lessons at this place. And some kid came in and asked if anybody could teach mandolin lessons. And I said, well, let me think about it. And I figured, well, as long as I could stay a couple weeks ahead of the kid, then I can teach him what I taught myself the week before. So we did that for a little while. And then the kid quit because it was like a 9-year-old taking mandolin lessons, which is odd.
From a 16-year-old who didn't know how to play.
I was like 21, but a 21-year-old who didn't know how to play. I did actually learn how to play, though, to the point where in the band that I was playing in, I would solo with the mandolin behind my head. I'd also do these like knee slides playing the mandolin, like if the floor was was willing to just rock out playing a mandolin solo behind my head.
Did the audience enjoy the Back to the Future style mandolin playing?
Oh, yeah. There was one time that we played at this place in Topeka, Kansas called Heart Attack Jack's. Heart Attack Jack's was a shithole. They had these tank tops. They were women's tank tops that said it doesn't lick itself. This was such a trashy bar. And then that just made it even better. There was one time that we played there and I did this epic knee slide mandolin behind the head solo. And there's these people who are like, that's awesome that I just got to see that and experience that. And I was like, yeah, it was awesome for you that you got that experience. That's true. And then there was this guy who wanted us to play Mustang Sally, which we didn't play, and went up to the bass player and he's like, play Mustang Sally. He's like, we don't play Mustang Sally. And the guy was like, I'm a veteran. Play Mustang Sally, bitch. You're like, all right, sir. Can't do that, but you can go buy a tank top that says it doesn't lick itself. So that was Heart Attack Jack's. It's no longer there. It was next to a Walmart.
Oh, what a shame.
I know.
Classy. So how's that music career going for you, Matt? With stories like this.
Not very good. You know, you've put this whole music career in perspective, and I think it's probably a good time to call it quits. So, Dave, I don't really need that acoustic anymore.
You're in for it, pal.
All right. Well, I take it back. I'll still keep playing.
Let's find some way to close this out.
Buy MachMachines. Fuck off. Is that a good ending?
That's a t-shirt right there. Front says buy MachMachines, back says fuck off.
How about some t-shirts? We'll make t-shirts that say it doesn't pick itself.
Well, that's good. You could do that. But I think you should do buy MachMachines or fuck off. So Pablo Escobar used to say to people, plata o plomo, which is silver or lead. So it's basically like, I'll either pay you or I'm going to kill you. So you make the choice. Well, this is the same binary choice. Buy MachMachines or fuck right off.
Thank you. I appreciate the ringing endorsement.
Thanks for talking.
You're welcome.
Thanks for supporting MachMachines.
You are welcome.
I have to spend a lot of time editing this one.
You got a wood screw and some lumber, yo. How do you get this little boat to go? Take your Phillips head, put it inside, work that thing round till you get that screw tight. Give it just a tip, just for a second, just to see how it feels.